Hey everybody, happy Monday. How's everybody doing? That one guy says good, bad, ugly, no nasty. There's got to be some nasty parts. I don't know. We were there long enough to really dig deep into the nasty. But today we're looking forward to talking about our experience living in Querétaro for 2 months. It was quite a ride. Had a good time. But it wasn't all smooth and perfect, right? So we want to be honest with you all that life isn't always rose-colored glasses, and there are things that come up, and it's good to know about the not so great things too, just to know how to respond when life throws you curveballs, or just to have an idea of what kind of issues you might want to keep a lookout for. Hey, Stephen and Andy, how are you guys doing? Good to see you around. Thanks for being here.
Are you also in Ecuador?
Yeah, are you guys still in Ecuador? So you can see our background. We've got a cool welcome to Zacatecas wall in our Airbnb. We're currently in the city of Zacatecas. We've officially left Querétaro, but we're reflecting and thinking about our time there. We're actually in Zacatecas visiting my family. We visited Kevin's family in San Luis Potosí the last couple of days in San Luis. And it's been quite a wild ride. We've been really busy up and down. We had been hoping to get the wine vlog up by today, but as you know, life hits curveballs. So
That poor wine project has been elongated for some time, but it's coming and it's
it'll
gonna
get
be
done.
good. It's gonna get done.
It'll get done.
We're a little beat from traveling. We're back to traveling, so we're excited, and we're also. It feels like wow, we gotta pick up traveling again.
We were in one place for a while that we were almost not used to having to pack everything up and move again. Someone likes your mustache. Hey, Jose. Kevin didn't shave today.
This is just what happens when you don't vlog and you don't shave. So.
Hello, Andy. We're doing well. How are you? Haven't been in Ecuador since June. Okay, just catching up on getting videos. Nice. We're enjoying those. Keep getting those out. Our friends Stephen and Andy were just in Ecuador putting out some really cool videos. It's going to be amazing when we get the wine vlog out. Yes, I hope so. I hope you're right.
It's going to be really good. Really good. Hopefully we haven't hyped it up too much, but we're excited for it, and yeah, we had this crazy wild weekend that we want to share with you all. We were in 3 different cities in almost 3-4 days.
3 states, 3 different cities, 3 states in a few days.
We left Querétaro Saturday. We're in San Luis Saturday, Sunday.
For a wedding, for his cousin's wedding.
And then we're here in Zacatecas Sunday, Monday. So we're like a little bit of jet lag and moving around.
We're going to be moving around tomorrow. We're going to be without signal for the next few days. We're going to be going back to my mom's hometown again for the annual festival that they have. I haven't decided whether we're going to vlog that yet. I don't know if I just want to enjoy time with family or share the festival with you all. I don't know if that's something you all would want to see, but as it is, I'm looking forward to being back with my mom. If you've seen my mom's hometown videos, then you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a very rural part of Zacatecas. There's some internet, but not much. So we'll be disconnecting, I think, for a bit.
Saul, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining on live. We met Saul in Querétaro. He is now one of our really good friends, and he's in Puerto Escondido right now. A little jealous because I miss the ocean breeze and my tlayudas from out there. But
right.
Saludos, dude.
And saludos to Houston, and also formerly of Chicago. Yeah, lots of people from Illinois, we noticed, are moving to Texas.
Or Querétaro. So
yeah, and Querétaro. You guys, Saul is one of the people from Chicago that we met in Querétaro. There are quite a few other Mexican Americans that we got together with in Querétaro. So that was pretty cool. So why don't we go ahead and jump right in? That actually goes with part of what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about our experience living in Querétaro for the last 2 months. I know 2 months is not enough time to give the most complete or comprehensive perspective on what it's like to be there, but I hope that it's enough time It certainly gave us a good idea of whether or not it's a place we want to live long term. So we just want to share the things that we've learned and experienced with you all. There are some very good things, there are some not so great things, and then some even lesser great things. Like I said, nothing in life is perfect. So we just want to be realistic with anyone who's curious to learn about what life is really like there. Hello to California. And Saul just had a mini earthquake in Oaxaca. Yes, that happens. I remember my first earthquake.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Thank you, Beatriz. We were very tired today, like we mentioned, from our last few days of traveling, but we still had a very good day today. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay.
So let's get to it.
Let's jump right in. We're going to start with the good things.
Of course.
Of course. We have more good things than we do bad things. So some of our favorite things you may have heard us talk about before. We want to touch on them again a little bit with some more details, with more experience. Some of the good things for me is that this is a very clean and safe city. I really enjoy a city where I can feel comfortable walking around on my own during the daytime. I think at nighttime, I still wouldn't walk by myself really anywhere just because
we're just so used to don't walk at night.
Yeah, just used to not walking at night, not even in Chicago, not in Cicero. So that's just a habit that I continue to just be safe with. But overall, Querétaro has felt very safe. I don't think we've ever felt in danger, or like people have tried to scam us. Of course, those kinds of people are everywhere, but we didn't have any of those kinds of negative experiences. So yay to Querétaro for being a very clean, safe, and fun city.
But fun. It has so many events, cultural events, concerts, parties, wine festival, cheese festival. A lot of them are free, accessible, especially when they're in the centro, which is really nice that they offer these kind of activities for everyone. We saw so many different things. Like they had magic shows, they had concerts. Like it was all over the place, which was really cool to have a huge diversity of events and cultural opportunities in the 2 months that we were there.
It was probably my favorite thing about Querétaro, just that there's always something free and fun and family friendly to do. Also, even if it's an adult-oriented activity, kids are always welcome, whether it's a beer festival, even at some bars where there's dancing.
Yeah.
A lot of these places are family friendly, so it's really cool just to see how many family spaces there are. And we think about that because we think about maybe having kids someday, and so that's something that we like to see and keep an eye out for, activities and things for kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, on the same topic of free and fun things to do, lots of live music, concerts, a variety of types of music. They have that summer festival. If you've seen our nightlife vlog, they literally have things like that every single weekend during the summer. We haven't been around long enough, of course, during the winter or spring months to know, but it's considered a creative city, so designated by UNESCO. So they really invest a lot in terms of the arts, music, theater, and architectural design. So to me, that just speaks to a modern and growing city. And it is growing. I don't have the stats on population, but something that people in town are constantly talking about.
It's how fast it's growing.
It's how much it's growing, how fast it's growing. And that actually brings me to one of our other very positive things that we love about Querétaro, and that's the fact that it's very metropolitan and diverse, but also still very Mexican. So this is a good thing in our eyes, because it's large enough and metropolitan enough that there are diverse people from different parts of the world, as well as different parts of Mexico. So because it's such a business-oriented city, it attracts business people and professionals from Europe, from India, from Japan, Korea. And so there are pockets of these diverse communities, as well as people from different parts of Mexico, although largely from Mexico City or the central part of Mexico. You'll see a lot of people in Querétaro from the other central part of Mexico. So Querétaro's identity, as I've read in articles,
it's a little complicated.
It doesn't have
like culinary style too. Like there's so many different diverse options of food that when you ask somebody, hey, what could I have something from Querétaro?
What's a specific Querétaro food? There isn't always an exact answer, because it's such a mix and mesh of different surrounding cultures. But they also have really good international food, great ramen. They have great Italian food, amazing Italian
We had
food.
this bomb chicken sandwich from this guy that is from Chicago.
A Chicago bar owner. Oh my gosh, I could just go on and on. There's tons of really good food. And I really appreciate that. Like there's good street food and then good international restaurant. I like my diverse food. Something that's harder to find though are Asian restaurants. So there's one or two, a couple ramen sushi spots, but other than that, I wish there was more Thai food,
Oh, Thai food.
more Vietnamese food.
Greek food. I miss my Greek food.
We miss Chicago has great Greek food, so that's there's a few things for room for improvement, but those are still very strong points for us and things that we really love about the city. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on your chats for a quick moment. Is Zacatecas a place for tourists? Good question, Rookie Maquillaje. Zacatecas City, I think, is a great place to visit as a tourist. I don't think I would recommend venturing outside of the capital city because when you go into the rural areas, it could be relatively unsafe. My family's from a rural area here in Zacatecas. The only reason I think we feel comfortable going is because we're with family and we have people orienting us and telling us don't go here, don't go there, and what times of day not to. But the city it's beautiful. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
It's super clean,
it's
hilly.
Got lots of cool history.
It's like an adventure walking around here.
It really is.
It's an outdoor museum, so it's gorgeous. It's really nice. I highly recommend coming out here.
I do too.
It's one of those hidden gems for most people.
Yeah, it's not very common with foreign and like international tourists, but it's very common for especially Central Mexico, Mexican national tourists. But if you're looking for something off the beaten path, very Mexican, lots of history, beautiful, it's colonial, lots of pink stoned buildings,
it's
gorgeous. Definitely recommend Zacatecas City. Hi to California again. And do we plan to travel to Durango? Great question. We're looking at that for the next few weeks since we are working our way through Central Mexico again. Last time we were in this region, we didn't get to Durango. So we're hoping to make it in the next couple of weeks.
Hopefully we make it to the Wild Wild West.
Yes. So if you have any specific recommendations or suggestions for while we're in Durango, please drop those in the comments for the video. We look forward to collecting ideas from you all.
I have so many friends from Durango that I feel like I just know by name the names of the cities. So I'm kind of excited to check out Durango.
I know there's so many people in Chicago from Durango.
They like your mani.
Oh, you like my nails? Yeah, I just got them done for that wedding.
It took like 7 hours.
It took Maria lived in Cicero too. Used to be safe in the early 80s. Not so much anymore. Family lives in Berwyn and Brookfield. Yeah.
It has its waves. Cicero has its good and bad waves. I think it just depends.
Yeah. And for anyone watching, if you're not familiar with Cicero, it's a southwest suburb that borders Chicago suburb. It's a town really that's about 90% Hispanic now. It used to be primarily Eastern European. But now it's primarily Hispanic. It's almost like another mini Mexico. If you're familiar with Little Village, Chicago, it's very similar to that neighborhood. And it has its gang related issues, its safety issues sometimes.
I mean, Al Capone lived there. So.
And it is a former hideout spot for Al Capone. Yes. I like to show people his old house when I have visitors. Okay, Jimmy, thank you for being here. He says, thanks for being informative. Thank you. We enjoy this. And
What's up, Puñado? Thank you.
Hey, my brother's here. What's up, Eron? He says he's from Joliet, and he says to try the mezcal. Oh, we had some good mezcal in San Luis 2 days ago, so I'm excited to try the Durango one.
It was yesterday, dude.
That wasn't 2 days ago? Oh my God.
That was like 12 hours ago.
Sorry, I already took multiple naps since then, so I feel like days have passed. I want to say thank you to Moses real quick. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Dude's flexing. Thanks so much.
That little game thingy. Thank you so much for your gift. These things mean a lot to us because they show us that you all believe in what we do and you want us to keep going. So we really appreciate your gift there, Moses.
What's up, Kyle?
Hey, Kyle.
One of the #1 Patreons. Kyle, what's up, bro? Nice to see
you. Hey. Jose asked if we're going to Morelos. We're going to Morelos we are, I don't think we've talked about going to Morelos yet, but it's a place that's definitely on our map. We have certain events and things, calendar things.
I'm lost. Morelos is Cuernavaca?
Center. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
so
we passed through,
but we didn't spend enough
we
time.
we couldn't. I got sick while around. We were supposed to go. We got sick. Now I remember. Thank you.
I was like, wait, I think we.
Yeah, you're right.
We're
No,
in
the
Cuernavaca,
plan is to make it there eventually, but we weren't able to go when we were in Taxco, which was about an hour away. It was very close, but because I got sick, I had a respiratory infection. We were unable to go, so we'll have to table that one.
Cool, let's get back to the place.
Okay, yes. Thank you all so much for your chats. I'm
back.
really enjoying them. I'm going to come back to them, but I want to go ahead and continue talking about Querétaro. So we covered some of our favorite things. Now we want to talk about the bad. And when we talk about the bad, I want to say that with a little bit of a caveat and say that the bad doesn't mean that we don't like Querétaro. It just means that there's room for improvement in certain things. And these are just some of the not so great things about living in the city.
And who knows, like maybe we could be part of that to make that improvement come true. It's not like we're saying they need to fix everything. No, we want to be part of that community.
We're community organizers at heart. So if we were to live there, that's probably things that we would get involved in. So the first thing is getting around can be a little challenging if you don't live in Centro. So we did live in the city center, but we had bikes. We walked everywhere. There were bike lanes. Most streets are bike friendly, but I will say that the cobblestone streets are very challenging for the bicycle. And very few main streets have bike lanes to begin with, so it can be tricky.
It's essential. We got bikes on our first 2 days, and they were essential to be around Querétaro. Like we had the internet outage for a month, and I had to go to Starbucks every day, and it was a 15-minute bike ride. So it was essential to get groceries, to do everything pretty much. I don't really see like public transportation, right? So
well, there are some bus lines. That actually is related to what we're talking about. It's okay. So although there are bus lines, they're not very easy to find. So there's like the main fancier bus lines, and then there are the smaller microbuses. The battery says it's exhausted.
No. Let me see.
Hey guys. Oh fuck.
Sorry.
The battery's down.
No.
Shoot. What if we refresh? When it wasn't connected, it was showing this anyway.
No.
Oh, you guys can hear us. Okay. Whoops. I hope you didn't hear me swear. All right. Just give us a second to come back. Don't go anywhere. Yes, we had an internet outage for a month. It was quite the adventure working with the Mexican internet companies, Telmex and Total Play. Those are two of the internet companies we worked with. Telmex is known for having awful customer service, but like we would say, se pasaron big time, because they kept telling us they were going to resolve our issues within 24 hours, and they kept saying that for 30 days straight. Okay. We're going to see if we can get this back. So what happened is our camera died, and it's connected to our computer. It's supposed to be streaming. The good thing is that we're able to edit this when we publish the video. So anyone rewatching this or watching the playback won't have to sit through us. But I appreciate you guys hanging on for us. I'm going to go back to the chat. Pancho Villa's Hacienda is now a museum in Durango. Ooh, that sounds really cool. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm definitely going to want to check that out. Hello to Connecticut. Haven't been there. What's that like? With Freddie says, with your quality content, you guys deserve a lot more followers. Thank you, Freddie. I appreciate that. I really, really do. We hope to continue growing because we enjoy what we do, and we enjoy sharing that with more people. So the more we can share it, the better. And a wider audience means that we could continue doing this for longer. Yeah, you're back. Let's take a quick moment. Can you show off your shirt? What do you guys think of Kevin's shirt? It says de aquí y de allá. I love, this is my new favorite shirt. Super comfy. They're available on our store. This is just a quick plug. We get lots of compliments from these shirts. There is a discount code for 10% off your first purchase. It's EBT10 exclamation point. I'll be dropping that in the comments after the video. But it's our online store is eatbailatravel.myshopify.com, I believe, and it's EBT10 exclamation point for 10% off. But seriously, these shirts are super comfy. I'm wearing the feminine fitted, very soft t-shirt kind. This is just the logo, but we have other cool designs as well. Yay, camera's back on. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming
Before this thing.
before it dies on us again. So we were talking about the challenges of getting around. I think it's crooked. The challenges of getting around the city if you don't own a car or if you don't own a bike. So the bikes were really helpful, but the cobblestone was a little tough. And in terms of public transportation, they have a really good public transportation system. It just doesn't cover all the parts we wish it would cover. We noticed that the bus lines tended to not cover the more wealthy neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's because it's expected, if it's a wealthier neighborhood, that those people own cars. And we know this because we would visit friends out in different neighborhoods. For example, Juriquilla. Juriquilla is one of the wealthiest neighborhoods, if not the wealthiest neighborhood in Querétaro. We're visiting friends there, and we could not get an Uber taxi back into Centro because there was just no availability. There were no public transportation. And that was
expensive. It was like $10, $12 a ride there.
When they're usually, for that length and time, they're usually about half that price. So the fact that there wasn't, or just not frequent public transportation to there, just told me that they save the routes or only have routes for maybe the lower income, which I guess it makes sense. But as someone who, I don't own a car, I don't want a car right now. I like to get around by public transportation.
Yeah,
it was a bit inconvenient. And there are also the micro buses, the smaller buses, but that kind of information is hard to find online. And really it's word of mouth. So I think the public transportation system could use some improvement.
And there's no bike lanes to go up there either.
Yeah, so right. There aren't bike lanes everywhere. There are very limited bike lanes in the Centro area. And so there are places we want to go where it's really hard to get to or unsafe to ride in on a bike. Another not so great thing about the city is that in the Centro, at least, it tends to flood during the rainy season. So rainy season is happening now from about June to September. You get really hard rains very often, almost daily, if not every other day. And that can cause floods in the Centro because it's typically dry climate here in Querétaro. And the streets will flood very easily, blocking traffic, making it difficult to walk around. And we've gotten stuck before.
Yeah.
When we were, last time we were in Querétaro and we were hanging out in Centro, but we were staying out a little bit outside the city. We could not get a ride back. No buses were running, no Uber, no taxi, nothing. And either we were gonna walk 2 hours at night, or we had friends come to they saved our life and gave us a place to stay that night. But that was rough. And we noticed that the floods tend to happen pretty frequently. Yeah. Not always awful, but they do happen.
Quick story, we almost died. It was raining really hard one day. We rode our bikes to Parque 2000 and some electric cables exploded right on top of us.
Right above our heads. So that's probably another thing. Infrastructure is not the greatest, especially cables. And that's common throughout Mexico where the cables are just a mess throughout the streets. But we were riding our bikes right after a rainstorm.
That thing would have broken and hit us.
I felt the flash and the heat above my head. I was riding my bike in front of Kevin. He goes, move. And he's behind me. So I'm like, move where? And Kevin says left. I move. And then I realized what just happened. And if that had touched me, I might not be here right now. That would have been a freak accident. So yeah, some of the infrastructure, not always the safest.
Okay. So I guess that moves us into the ugly.
Wait. No, I have one more thing to talk about. This is the not so good things, and at least for us. I find it relatively more expensive than other cities in Mexico. Actually, I find it a lot more
Yeah,
expensive,
it's really expensive.
than other cities in Mexico.
That's
So while it's a great city, lots of great things to do, we found ourselves spending way more money than we had anticipated. In the 2 months we were there, we have some rough figures for you all because I know that people are wondering about cost of living. We like to think we're frugal, but we're not really. We go out a lot, we eat out a lot, we do a lot of things, and so we end up spending more. We don't regret it because these are memories made, these are fun things and fun times. I'm gonna pop over to that. In the 2 months that we were there in Querétaro, we spent about I'm gonna say US dollars, $4,867. So almost 5,000 US dollars in 2 months. Break that down, just under $2,500 per month for 2 people. Our budget, in an ideal situation, we hope to not spend more than 1,500 US dollars a month in our rents, food, eating out, activities. But we're $1,000 over our budget for each month. What do you think? Is that a lot?
I think it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm not asking you, Zuli. I'm asking them.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, depending on where you're coming from, especially if you're US or Canada, Europe, somewhere else in the world with a higher cost of living or a higher monetary currency value, then you're looking at maybe, oh wow, that's definitely less than I would expect, or that would be double where I live. So it's all relative, considering we're coming from Chicago, we're coming from the US, but we've been trying to get our mindset into living in pesos. Yes, we earn dollars because Kevin has a remote job. YouTube is a side income for us as well, so there are US dollars in this work as well. But we're still spending more than what we wish we were. So in terms of getting the quality of living that we want and the cost of living, the cost of living, I would say, is still slightly higher than what we would like for it to be. If you all would like a more specific breakdown on how much we spent on groceries, how much random things cost, like a visit to the doctor, I've gone to physical therapy, how much a haircut costs, that's something we would be definitely happy to make a separate video for, just to talk about that. It would be a short one, maybe 10 minutes, just to give you a more detailed idea of what those things look like. But I'm going to pop over to the chat and come back to you all and see how things are going.
Maria, thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria Hernandez.
Number one fan.
Number one fan. That is such a cute pear. It looks like an avocado, but I think it's a pear. Thank you, Maria. Again, these gifts from you all mean a lot to us. They really are motivating and keep us going. Even things like 99 cents. Thank you, Jessica. You're the bomb. Seriously, thank you so much. Stephen and Andy asked a question. What does it mean for those of us who don't speak Spanish? Is it when I said se pasan? I was like, partially se pasan. That means that they go too far. When I say they go too far. That's all that means. There's a second part to that phrase that I won't say in public.
You already swore.
I'm not gonna say it. What if my nieces are watching? Someone says, I think you guys will keep growing, and now Kinetic Cannons and Laura Bronner left Mexico. There will be followers looking for people still filming in Mexico. Yeah, Kinetic Cannons and Eternal Expat were huge and a big inspiration for us, seeing other people do this kind of work. And I'm kind of sad to see that they're not going to be in Mexico anymore. But if that means growth for us, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I wish them so much success wherever they go. I'll definitely be keeping up with them.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, I was wondering what happened to you two. We're still here. Life happens. We still have, real lives outside of YouTube. So we try to keep up with this as much as we can. Cruz Elena Gamboa, hey there. She says, good luck in Durango. Wish I was there so you can visit the Sierra with her. We would love to visit the Sierra with you. And we have people who are from there, and it just makes it more fun.
I would love to go to the ranchos too.
Yeah. Stephen Emmy said, holy crap. I'm not sure to what though. Sorry.
The money spent?
Oh, the money spent. Yeah, maybe. More expensive than your stay in Mérida or Puerto Vallarta? Yes, lots. In Mérida, we were staying with Kevin's godmother, his madrina. And although she wouldn't charge us rent, she wouldn't take rent money from us, we helped with things like groceries, and invited her out to eat and various things. So definitely we still didn't spend as
But
much.
It is a year ago, so and inflation is just changing everything.
Mhm.
Like, we can't even compare. Like it's
Yeah,
we
Merida
can
a
make
year
these
ago
videos comparing
could very well be as expensive as
Yeah.
Querétaro nowadays. That would be a really interesting
It's just-
comparison video. We should try to connect with someone who's out there now and see if we can make a comparison video. I think that's something that I had mentioned before and just haven't gotten around to.
Yeah, but I do think it's a little rough just because inflation is just messing everything up. It's like in Querétaro, we were paying 120 pesos for a kilo of avocados, which is like $6
About
for
$6.
like 3-4 avocados, and that's a lot
That's
of money.
a ton of money in Mexico. People are like mind
That's-
blown and upset at how much the
That's a lot
avocado
of
costs.
money. Yeah.
Cool. Someone said, oh, it's Kyle. If you aren't in Querétaro, who's watering Karen's plants? I promise you all, that is the last thing I did before I walked out the door. Karen, if you're watching this, I watered your plants right before I left. She's going to be home in a few days, so it'll be okay.
She's watering the turf.
No, I watered the real plants. Jessica, another $2. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know if you all were able to see. She sent us 99 cents because that's a cool number. And then another $2. Thank you so much. That's a couple coffees for us here. We appreciate it. The t-shirt. Oh, they like the t-shirt. Thanks, Stephen and Andy. Oh, holy crap to the lightning close encounter. Yeah, that was quite the scare. Channel's great. Audience is growing. Yes, we hit 10,000 followers before the end of the year, or halfway through this year, and we were hoping our goal was to hit by the end of the year. So we're definitely pleased with our growth, but we're not necessarily trying to grow too quickly. We prefer quality over quantity, and so far our quality of subscribers, aka all of you, is top notch. Seriously, top notch. So thank you. Let's go back and finish this off. We'll come back to the chat. Let's finish off what's the ugly of what we didn't enjoy so much in Querétaro. I'm kind of shy. I feel kind of shy to talk about this. I don't really like to say negative things.
Customer service.
Okay, well, fine. So we can't. You all, some of you have heard about our issues with customer service and dealing with Mexican companies and doing business and things like that. And that, for us has been the ugliest part of our time in Querétaro. I don't think that represents Querétaro as a whole, but as part of our experiences, those were the most challenging and unfortunate things. We just found that people weren't always the most helpful or the kindest. Compared to other parts of Mexico, we were used to having people be super helpful, super kind, very willing to lend a hand. And in Querétaro, even if that's their job, we found that they weren't very nice about it. And
it's just strange.
And
I think it's
I
a different culture. Maybe the fact that it's a big city or something, but it felt like very
the culture of
blank.
people to people, of strangers interacting with strangers, definitely felt cold.
Yeah.
Colder than other parts of Mexico, like Oaxaca or Puerto Escondido or Puerto Vallarta or Guadalajara. Like something about, and then this is one of the places we spent the longest time with. There are other parts of Mexico, maybe we didn't spend enough time there to see these things there. So again, just speaking on our personal experience, but man, we had some very rude people.
Yeah, a lot. And it's not the state of Querétaro, just the city of Querétaro again. Because like when we went to Amealco or the smaller towns, it's like a completely different vibe.
We could feel the difference in the warmth from locals in the smaller towns in the state versus the city. And I wonder, we've talked about this with other people. We wonder if it has something to do with a lot of the people in the city aren't necessarily from the city. They've moved from other parts. They have said how other Mexicans have told us how challenging they found it to make friends in Querétaro because they feel like people's social circles are very closed off. And another thing that kind of goes along with this, I felt like there was some classism. There was a lot of caring about appearances and looking at people a certain way, walking into a certain kind of restaurant. Like if we weren't very dressed up for a restaurant, people seemed to think that we weren't going to be able to afford it. And Kevin more so than me. And I don't know if this has anything to do with the fact that he's more tanned than I am, but he got a lot more of these. I know estás bien chulo, but he got a lot more of these negative experiences than I did.
That's weird.
And I don't know if it's because you're a guy. I mean, I think people are generally nicer to women, and I don't know. And part of me wonders if it's because you're tanner in complexion.
That's just weird.
But I can't ignore the pattern of people being rude more so to you than to me. Yeah, you want to give maybe one or two examples of rudeness or just weird things?
It's just strange. Like it happened so many times. Like it happened at the supermarket. It happened at the buying chicken. What else? At Starbucks.
Okay, what happened at Starbucks?
Like at Starbucks, like we were sitting down and it's like I was going daily and I asked to see like, oh, can I use the internet? I'm gonna order something now, and then I got like asked, like, are you gonna order something? You're just gonna sit here. When I had been there before and there wasn't like any situation like issues with it. Or I would just get these like everybody at Starbucks would go super dressed up, and I'm over here walking in with my gym shorts and my Baila travel shirt, and they're like, "What the heck?" And the moment that I turn on my headphones and start speaking in English, I'd be like, "What? Like he speaks English?" Like, I don't know. It's just weird. And like another situation, I went to go buy chickens and. I want to use my credit card, and the guy was like, "Oh, your credit card doesn't work, or we don't want to accept it, or it's not working, and it's your credit card." I was like, "No, it's your thing. I bought chickens here before." Like, no, just no.
And Kevin even offered to pay with a different form of payment, and the guy just refused to sell him the chicken. He's like, "I'm not selling you.
I'm not selling you these chickens." And
pollo rostizado.
He was like, "Man," I was like, "What the heck?" And then, the last one, I went to go rent a car. And,
that one was good.
And I used my Mexican passport and my Mexican driver's license, and the lady was like, the signatures don't really look the same, so I can't rent you the car.
No, but you also were trying to pay with an American credit.
I was paying with American credit.
So they didn't want to rent it to you because they thought you were, maybe some of these were something, they thought one of his cards or passport might be false, and they thought he might be trying to steal the car because things weren't matching up.
And then I offered. I was like, "Well, let me go. Could I use my?" No, you can't use your American.
He said, "Well, let me use my American passport and he doesn't have his American driver's license right now." He's like, "I just have a Mexican driver's license, American passport." And then they go, "No," they just flat out said no.
And Jenny went the other day and they rented that car.
Yeah. and we went together, and then when I rented the car, they gave it to me, no problem.
But I waited outside.
He did. I was like, wait outside, because if it's really you, then no. And I know a lot of these situations sound like coincidental, and they very well could be.
Yeah.
But when they start to happen a lot, you do start to ask yourself, you start to wonder, like, what is really going on here? So I'm going to hop over to the chat and see if anybody has any comments on that. So I'm going to come back over. Moses tells Stephen and Andy, yes, from here and from there. We specifically like this phrase. We took it from the ni de aquí ni de allá, neither from here nor from there, which is a popular phrase from La India Maria, a very popular Mexican icon. But we're
gonna change the narrative.
We like to say we're here from here and from there, and I know not everyone will agree with that, but we also don't feel like we don't want to feel like we don't belong anywhere. We just like to feel like we belong everywhere, in both places. So if you can relate and you want to pick up one of these t-shirts, they're available on our store. Hi, Lizda. She says our two favorite expats, and she puts expats in quotation marks because we're not sure if we're expats really. That's a conversation for another time. I really want to talk about that. Hey guys, hey Erica, Chicago native, go Sox. Hey, living in Playa del Carmen for 4 years. Okay, we got more Chicago people living in Mexico. Is Queretaro as expensive as the Riviera Maya? Also love the new shirt. Yeah. Is it expensive as the Riviera Maya?
Depends what you do in the Riviera Maya.
Yeah, and of course Querétaro, we were living in the centro, and there are more expensive places to live in Querétaro, and there are less expensive places to live in Querétaro. So they're depending on where in those areas you live. I think there are budgets for different ranges.
Wow, Gary Green, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary. It's another few coffees. All right. I'm gonna subscribe to it. Like we're living in Los Angeles. Does it because of the prices or because of the vibes, the people vibes, just not friendly people? Someone said, I don't know if you guys have visited Spain yet, but it's similar to Madrid and smaller cities. I felt like I was an inconvenience to customer service, whereas people were kinder to me in other cities.
Oh yeah, that happened
Yeah.
to me in Spain too.
Yeah. I spent a semester in Spain during college, and I definitely felt some of that colder vibes. Yeah.
No, it's because you're an attractive young female.
Who said that?
Mike Jones.
It's because you're an attractive young female. We men deserve equal treatment. Yes, you do. I agree. Okay, Kevin's pretty attractive, I think so. But that's not fair. Like, why do attractive people get treated? No, that's also not cool. Moses says, yes, there's lots of classism in Querétaro. Okay, so we're not the only ones who noticed that. Have visited and people overdress for everything and have a sense of arrogance to them. Some people, yes, I think not everybody, but we did sense it from some people. Just that feeling of like, I'm better than you. And I just didn't like it.
So we gotta wrap this up really quick or actually the camera might.
Yeah, we don't want the camera to die out on us again, so we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. Potosina woman says, "Oh, mi niño."
Hi, tia.
Doug is late. Sorry, Doug. You're gonna have to catch the replay. No nos quieren a nosotros los prietitos. No, dude, it's a problem. Mexico is colorist and racist, and that's something that we always knew about and we're starting to see. And I acknowledge that I am on the lighter complexion spectrum, so I don't get that a lot of personal experience, but I know that happens and that's BS. You guys heard about what happened at Sonora Grill? No?
Oh, yeah, I heard about it.
Yes. So there's a controversy about a very famous restaurant chain that is seating their darker skinned people inside the restaurant and their lighter skinned people in the outside terrace where the tables are visible to the public. There's a waitress who exposed them after working for them.
They're just trying to even them out, get the lighter skin people to get a tan.
No. Oh, get the lighter skin people to get a tan. Oh my gosh, stop.
Okay, let's move on.
But yes, that's one example that does happen. So
Steve G from NC, thank you for joining, man. Miss you. I hope you're doing well too. We're doing great. Just still catching up to this jet lag. But
hold on, I want to make a comment. Melissa said, have not heard this from other bloggers or expats in Querétaro. And that's a great point. And I will add, are those other bloggers, expats that you're watching, are they white? Are they lighter skinned? And if they are, they probably haven't experienced what we're talking about. If you've seen another YouTuber called La Karencita, she is a browner Mexican, and she does talk about some of this. So
she has some of the videos on it.
So that's just food for thought. All right, so just finishing up these comments so that we can wrap up. Do we plan on residing in Mexico permanently? Yes. Does that mean we're not going to travel anymore to other countries? No. So we're still travelers at heart. We love Mexico. Mexico is our home. We've decided that it's home over the United States, but we still are travelers and we still want to explore more of the world and revisit the places that we've enjoyed. So we have some plans to visit some other countries in 2023. So I hope you'll stick around with us because we're not ditching Mexico. We'll just be venturing out to other places and then of course coming back. Mm-hmm. Mexican Americans represent best city with kids real quick. Querétaro is definitely one of them. Mérida is also great, but also really hot. Steve G, thanks for joining. Great experiences in Mexico and Spain, but do you think it was because of American privilege? Great conversation for another time. I think that once people hear us speak English, they start to hold us in a higher regard. And I don't like that, but I definitely benefit from that.
All right, Joe.
All right.
I'm afraid this camera's gonna die. It's like
it's gonna die. Thank you all so much for joining us. I know that we didn't go super into detail into everything we talked about, but we don't want to keep you on live streams for hours and hours. We are happy to talk more about these things if you want to hear more about them in future videos. So let us know in the comments or in the chat what you want to know more about. We have a couple more Querétaro specific contents videos coming up in the next couple weeks before we transition over into where we are now in central Mexico. So stick around with us. We got some more cool things coming up. And again, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for your gifts.
Get your t-shirts.
Get your t-shirts. I'm going to be dropping the link in the comments. It should be in the description after this. So just give us a few minutes. And if you don't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram. We post discount codes on our Instagram stories as well. So make sure that you're connected with us there.
And follow us on Instagram so you can see all the parties we go
to. Someone asked.
This weekend's wedding.
Oh, yeah. I haven't posted.
We're going to vlog on those.
I haven't posted any of that. Someone asked if we announce whether or not we will stay in Querétaro. It's definitely a top contender. We're not staying there now because we want to continue exploring the rest of Mexico. But I think it's definitely in our top two. For sure. Top two cities. And it's definitely getting there.
All right, y'all. I love you. Kyle, thank you for getting the shirt. I've seen you. I got to post it on Instagram. You're going to be on black.
Yes.
Saludos, se cuidan, se bañan y nos vemos hasta la próxima.
Chao. Fuertes abrazos a todos.